Chapter 12. Soft Eyes. No, Alex cried. I've told you 100 times. You can step back or you'll fall over the clock. Sorry, she said quietly. Alex put her unceremoniously around so they faced back down the axe. Now this time concentrate, he rapped. He held his arms out, high up, so they completely circled her head. She stood up very close, her eyes flat against his chest, trying to imagine a cloak surrounding her. This time, they nearly made it. Alex one strong push, propelling them down the ring, but then two thirds of the way she felt the momentum fade and automatically pulled a skate back to keep her balance. What is wrong with you? He rapped, clutching his hair and turning away in exasperation. You're not usually this thick. He took a deep breath to regain his composure. Then he turned back to her. Now listen, Samantha, his voice trilled away because now he looked her in the face. It wasn't Samantha, it was Sue. Sue, who was 19, was 4 years older than her, who was only 6 months away from getting married. Sue, who had been his babysitter. Sue, who was now standing grinning at him. Oh, sorry, Sue, he muttered. I was so wrapped up, I forgot it was you. Don't worry, Alex, I think it's lovely, she said, patting his stout hair back into place. He stepped back out of range. Sorry, I went to be crazy, he said. That's how we are, Samantha and me. Is he any better with this cloak idea than I am? Asked Sue. Well, she broke up, embarrassed. Yes. Well, to be perfectly honest, she trusts me more, he admitted. Even if she thinks she's about to fall, she'll stay in a position. I jumped her on her head a number of times. Sounds terrific. I'm glad I'm an individual sketcher, said Sue. The clothes still getting in the way though, said Alex, especially when we're going backwards. We try it with the sheet and it just blows back against your legs and gets all tangled up. It needs to be made of a behavioral material, said Sue. And remember, she's a lot smaller than I am. If anyone can make it work, you sure can. Heavier, Alex mused. He held his arms out against as though encircling his parlor and sketched a few full steps. Sue glanced at her watch. Look, Alex, I must get going. I'm meeting Brian. Not yet, Sue. You said you were okay still 8? Yeah, and it's 8:30 already, said Sue. He'll be having a feast as it is. Alright, okay, said Alex. You better go. Do you want to leave? No, I'll stay for a while. I've got nothing else to do. He waved her away a smile and glided away to the middle of the ice. In spite of her hurry, she stood watching him for a minute, wondering at the transformation that had taken place over the last year. There was no trace of the laid-back, uncaring Alex. Oh, the boy who would never bothered to train. The rest of the dance class had broken up an hour before, and now the outside of the ice was crammed with laser sketches. The only other real sketches there were Dan and her new partner, Colin. They were running to have free dance for the juniors. At 10:30, the PA systems announced the eyes were to be clear. After a minute, the announcement was made again, only this time more sternly. And gradually, the eyes emptied. The ring managers finished waiting up all the nights upstairs and trooped down to the ring, knowing what he'd find. Sure enough, one lonely figure was still sketching around the center of the ice. The ring manager rapped sharply on the windows, and the figure gave a start, raced blankly around the deserted ring. Then came hurrying over. Sorry, I forgot, said Alex breathlessly. That's all right, Alex, the ring manager said. I want to get home sometime tonight, you know. I'll be right there, he said. I'll just grab my things, the ring manager watched as Alex dashed into the locker room. That's all right, he repeated to himself. I wouldn't like it to be said one day that we once threw a world champion out. Carefully, Toby squeezed the icing back and added a rather delicate line of tracery to the latest as now covered his cake. It was Monday afternoon's home economics lesson, and a line of chairs had been set up, barricading Toby off from the rest of the class. The only people allowed on his side were Alex, who was sitting in his usual place on the desktop, looking considerably more anxious than Toby did, and Hilary Anderson, a girl from seventh grade who was following in Toby's footsteps. Don't put her through the back, caressed it, Toby was saying to Hilary, who was hovering on its elbow. Alex found this funny. Hilary didn't. She nodded respectfully. You don't think the icing's a bit soft? She asked. No, it said all right, said Toby. It hasn't got to be that hard as it's not supporting another tie. He glanced up at Alex. How did Saturday go? He asked. I don't know what you mean, said Alex. Saturday? What happened on Saturday? Oh, you can't talk in front of Edge, said Toby. Listen, Edge, keep your mouth shut, will you? Oh sure, said Hilary, not caring. Her gaze was still fixed on Toby's skillful icing. It went fine, said Alex. We managed a whole 3 hours. I thought she had to have breakfast with her when she went out. Yes, but she made friends with one, said Alex, and she just happened to be a ballet friend. So Samantha got her feet up with a free ticket for a matinee every Saturday. Smart, very smart, said Toby. Oh, you know what she's like, said Alex. You're still only seeing her for skating. What does that mean? Well, you're not taking her out. How can I? Demanded Alex. The small amount of time we get together, we have to spend skating. Oh, it doesn't matter. We'd rather skate than waiting. So I'm going to see a movie or something. What about Valentine's night? We're going to need more icing, said Toby to Hilary. Do you think you could get started on some? Are you sure? Hilary asked worriedly. You'll do fine, said Toby. Just leave the ring to me. She went off to the other side of the room, and Toby turned his attention back to Alex. It's Valentine's Day on Friday, he said, the event of the year. Well, you don't seriously think they're going to let Samantha out for the night, do you? Alex demanded. Of course not, said Toby. But there are other girls around. You know, nobody's taking Bobby. It's true yet, as far as I know. Bobby? She'd be going with Phil Price. No, she won't. They had one hike of a break up, said Toby. Yeah, said Alex interestedly. What happened? How they were supposed to be going to the burn dance on Friday night, but he said he had too much homework, so they both decided to stay in, said Toby. Then she got him taking Jean Taylor instead. Was there an argument? You said it. She was with Colin Williams, grinned Toby. There was quite a fight between Colin and Phil. No, between Roberta and Phil, of course, said Toby. So how about it? She's not fixed up with anybody else as far as I know. I don't like it. Don't fancy Bobby's crew, you mean? Said Toby. Wow, you have got it back. I have not, said Alex. I just get enough dancing on the ice. Yeah, there was a silence between them for a minute. Is she going to a dance? I think there's one at the school. That's all girls, aren't they? Toby said, looking up in surprise. Oh, they bring in some posh boys' school for dancing and plays, that sort of thing, said Alex. There you are then, said Toby. Sammy wouldn't mind. She wouldn't even know. I'll see, said Alex. course you were. Well, who are you going with? Alex said, changing a tack. Toby gestured with his eyebrows. It, he said. Hilarious, said Alex, aghast. What silly hilarious? If you bother to take a close look at her, your fight is no longer silly, said Toby coldly. She got a long, not owing furrow. Alex gazed across the room at Hilarious, who was walking away at the more of icing. It was true. In the last year, Hilary had trained out recognition. We carved that a bit quiet, said Alex. Jimmy grinned. You got a lot in common, he said. She's not marked on case, but a passed the best in junior high. Alex sighed. You're not normal, she said. Hobie looked up from his eyes. And you are, he said, letting the question hang in the air.